Okay, guys, we are back. And I just woke up from my Thanksgiving Day coma. Literally, I got home from dinner around I want to say around 9 o'clock. And I knew there was going to be a Datamine tonight, but I was knocked the hell out. As soon as I got home, I went straight to bed. And here we are post haste. Now I've woken up. So the data mines were posted about an hour ago. It's 1:15 New York time, Eastern Standard Time. So do the math there. But there's actually one thing I want to discuss before we actually head into the data mines here, and it's this. So apparently, the Harmonic Ike and Lyn banner has the highest ratio of salt comments to hype comments ever. So what this guy is saying here, just a little tidbit I thought was interesting. As of this writing, the Salt Mega Thread has 307 comments, while the Hype Mega Thread has 37. 307 to 37 is 8.189 repeating, which rounds to 8.19, meaning that there are 8.19 times the amount of comments in the Salt thread than the Hype one. That's like losing bonus in voting gauntlet level, 8.19 times. This would easily be the highest ratio in the history of the subreddit, even though 307 comments isn't a lot this year. Even truly hated banners like Hostile Springs had smaller ratios, about 3.5 times, I believe. I think this is heavily due to the unpopularity of the banner, but also the sub has been getting smaller and smaller over the years. 307 salt comments would be rather tame compared to the earlier years. And even as late as Book 5, as the sub gets smaller, the people that remain are those still attached for various regions, but also the general opinion of the sub has trended more negative. I do not mean to say this is necessarily good or bad. I just wanted to say something I noticed. I wonder if in the future we'll get an even more hated banner, or if this was the low point of the game. After a shock like this, I wonder if anything else that happens in the future becomes remotely surprising. Now, this, to me, is a shock. I thought this was fire. Like, this was straight flames. When I saw the leaks for this, I was actually mad because I didn't get to react to it properly in the actual trailer because I had known about it ahead of time. I would have been going nuts if I saw this on the trailer video and I didn't get leaked. You get what I'm saying? Like, this, to me, is peak. We have the CYL characters from CYL 1 back, the nostalgia factor from that. For me, who's been playing this game since actually, even before since day one. I have the game a little bit earlier than most people. It released in the, I think it was the Japanese App Store or the Australian App Store. The game actually released there 12 hours ahead of time compared to the release for the American App Store. So, by all accounts, I believe I'm playing the Australian or the Japanese version of the game. I don't remember exactly which one it was, because there were a couple of other games that I had downloaded that released early in either the Australian App Store or the Japanese App Store. Like Pokemon Masters, for example, that's another one. So, my brain has become a little fuzzy on whether or not Faye released earlier in Japan or Australia. Point being, I've been playing this game for a long-ass time, and I usually don't get excited about new heroes banners too often. I mean, once in a while, they'll throw us a bone. They'll give us a really interesting, cool character that everyone wanted that hasn't been released yet. Like, for example, well, this is more of a seasonal banner thing, but we finally got Skramir on the Halloween banner, and that was pretty dope to me, because I've been wanting him for a long time, and we finally got him. So it is cool. I get the perspective if you're going to attack it from that angle where you're saying they don't add new characters anymore. We just keep getting alts and alts and alts and alts and alts of the same old characters over and over again. Yes, that's true. But that to me has never really been a major complaint, honestly. It's a gacha game. Obviously, they're just going to focus on the same old hype characters that people are summoning for, people are spending money on. You can bet your ass. If they want money, if they need to push the red button in case of emergency to just drop a banner that's going to make them money, you know exactly what they're dropping, right? It's going to be 3 houses. is going to be the house leaders, because that's what people who play Fire Emblem nowadays want. They just want Edelgard, they want Dimitri, they want Claude, they want 3 houses. So, is that bad of them to capitalize on that? Personally, I don't think so. I don't care. If something is hype, then do it, in my opinion. It's like in Dokkan, where the anniversary is always fusions. It's always either Gogeta or Vegito or like something like that, like Super Saiyan 4. They always dip into the bag of the most hype shit. And I don't see why Faye is not allowed to do that either. So to me, this concept was a banger. And my reactions to seeing people talking about this, and there's a lot of people crying about end of service too. That's going to have to be a separate video from this one though, but you guys know I love talking about people complaining about end of service. Somehow or another, that also equates to people thinking I'm talking about end of service when I've never done that once in my life. I don't understand how people correlate that. Like, me complaining about people complaining about end of service somehow equates to me complaining about end of service? Are you guys out of your mind? Like, come on. Let's be smart here for a second. Okay, that was a very, very long rant. I didn't mean to go that off topic about this. But the point being, I think this is a dope idea, and I can't wait to see other variants of this idea in the future. I guess one, like, valid complaint I guess people have is that the Part 2 or the second place winners aren't getting the same amount of love as the first place winners, because they're both backpacks in this case. What would have been a really dope idea is if they let you swap between the 2 characters mid-fight. Like, you have a duo button, and instead of activating an effect or an ability, you hit the duo button and you swap back and forth between the 2 characters. So, like, over here, let's say Ike would be an infantry type unit, infantry axe. You could press the duo button and swap into Roy, who would be a sword cav, and each of these units would have their own unique kit. Like, that would be a duo hero right there. That's what I would want to see. And that's what I've been wanting for a long time, actually. Like, swappable units. Unfortunately, they missed the bus on that a couple of times where they had the opportunity. So, I don't know if they're going to ever do something like that. Obviously, it would be very broken, too. Just being able to use 2 units in one with completely different kits. But it would be a really good concept. Really fun and really breathe more life into the game. So, yeah, there are more interesting ways they could have handled that. I will give you that. But for what it is, I like this. So, rant over. Let's actually talk about the Datamines now. Like, what we're here to do. So, starting things off with Lyn over here. We have 40 HP. We got 47 attack, 49 speed with a super boon, 30 defense, and then 24 res also with a super boon. Overall BST is 190. So, Lyn to me seems like a really goddamn good unit. She's probably the best Aether Raids offense unit now, considering she can hit from 3 spaces away, meaning she avoids pretty much any trap you're ever going to place in Aether Raids. On top of that, she has color effective damage against armor and cavalry types. I don't even know why she has that, actually. I guess it's from Lucina, because that's one of the effects Lucina had, where she's effective against armor and cav. Not so much Lyn, but I guess Lyn being able to do that is very beneficial here. They gave her Arc Rival, so she can have color advantage against those types of enemies all the time. And we saw her in the trailer just trounce Burger King. So I'm wondering, if she could do that to Burger King, she is going to have no problem at all just shredding just about all the other armored units. So this Lyn, I'm so happy that there's finally a unit that I can bench Baby Camilla for in Aether Raids offense. Because ever since Baby Camilla came out, it's been the Baby Camilla show in Aether Raids offense for me. Every single season, she's my best option. And I'm getting a little tired of it. I would like something new to use. So this is definitely good. Okay, next up we have Ike. So 41 HP, 49 attack with a super boon, 30 speed, 49 defense with a super boon, and then 35 res. He does have a little bit of needless points in speed that I would like to dump into res. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Overall BST 204, pretty solid. That would be arena worthy if you were to get him to plus 10. Although, Is this guy worth getting a +10? Maybe. It's hard to say. It's always tougher to gauge how good these tank-type units are as opposed to the offense units, because it's very clear where you're going to be using offensive units and what their end accomplishments are going to be. When it comes to tanks, it's really hard to say until you actually see them in action and see them tanking hits. So, I don't know where I'm putting Ike at the moment. He's just a souped-up version of Emblem Ike. His weapon is actually good, unlike Emblem Ike, whose weapon was kind of bad. All of Emblem Ike's stuff was all in his special for the most part. And this Ike basically is not really doing that. He's splitting up, like, where he's effective in his weapon, also his special, and then he's got some really good inheritable passives as well. So this is going to be a really valuable unit, I think, to summon, which is also good considering he color shares with Vanitas. So while you're sniping green, which is going to have a really good rate of getting 5 stars, by the way, this is only a 2-color focus banner, and there's only 3 characters on this banner. So you're going to be getting your orbs worth if you're summoning on this, and it's also another reason why I feel like such a dumbass for summoning on the Valley and Alphador banner when we knew that banner was still going to be around by the time we saw the trailer for this, and we all knew they were cooking something up when we saw that they switched places of the New Heroes and Legendary Mythic Emblem banner. So yeah, I really should have just been hoarding orbs for this instead of summoning for Alphador and Valley, where, I mean, yeah, Alphador is really good. I think he's the best offensive Aether Raids unit. But for me, I'm not going to be able to get him with a lot of merges. So it's not like I'll immediately be able to put him out on the field in Aether Raid's offense. He's going to be coming in on the reinforcement slot for me. So his presence isn't really going to be felt as much as a unit like, say, Harmonic Lyn over here, where I could just bless her and put her out in the front lines immediately, and she's going to be swinging the tides of a lot of fights there. So, yeah, just, like, Mythic Heroes are kind of whale territory, in my opinion. The defensive Mythic Heroes are just, unless they're insane, like Haithrun, for example, on release, where they're a must-run, or like King Freyr or something like that, defensive Mythic Heroes are usually hit or miss. Valley seems pretty interesting, but I don't think she's like a must-run on a defense team. And then Aether Raid's offense units, you got to get a lot of merges on them, otherwise they don't really have much of an impact in terms of raising your score. So, yeah, there you go. Just some food for thought there. I should have been a little wiser with my orbs. Now I feel dumb, but what are you going to do? Okay, and then we have finally Vanitas, who's got 51 HP, 48 speed, 48 attack, 18 speed, 46 defense, and then 49 res. Overall BST 212, so she should score actually really good. She does have a unique A skill, or was it an A skill or a B skill? I don't even remember, but her unique is pretty good. It gives her stone tile support, just like Hector, and then it neutralizes up to 5 bonuses on enemies in 3 columns and 3 rows after she ends a round of combat that the foe initiates. So you could already see good applications for that, right? Just bonus neutralization is always one of the most coveted abilities for units to have. And we rarely, if ever, get it outside of units like Loki and Thor. And I guess the one Freya who does -2 bonuses. Not that that's really going to do you much good, but it is what it is. So yeah, Vanitas, also a really good unit. She's got some nice fodder skills for your other armor and dragon types, and she should just overall seem like a very effective unit. Very roll compressed armor type right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the artwork, and then we'll go ahead and hop out of here. So yeah, this artwork's really good. I saw a side-by-side comparison of the original CYL1 art compared to these, and there are some things I do like about the original compared to this, because the original, I would say the original artworks aren't as detailed as these. Like, these definitely look more detailed, and like a little bit more work was put into the shed on these. But I am a fan of old school anime like that, so the old school anime-esque designs of the CYL1 art kind of resonates with me a little bit more. So here we are, Ike and Roy. I know a lot of people wanted Roy to get something. They've been dying for new Roy for a very long time. hoping for Emblem Roy, and this is what they get. Backpack Roy. This is really good here. This is hot. That's some good artwork. All right, then finally the injured artwork, again looking pretty good. Okay, next up we got these two, drawn by the wonderful Kaboon. You can see where all of his effort went if you just study these two characters here. It's not hard to realize where Kaboon is focusing his drawing hand. All right, so Lyn. All right, here's the attacking artwork. I always liked that little, like, fur line thing that Lyn's got on her shoulder. Ever since she was on the Brave Banner 1, like that. It's just a really cool-looking accessory there. Kind of like Sesshomaru, how he has that thing on his shoulder in Inuyasha. If you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, special attack art. Again, really nice pop. There's Lucina with her weapon. All right, then finally the injured artwork. Kind of a weird pose that Lyn is doing there. Yeah, how is she standing up like that? Is she getting knocked off balance? Because there's no way you'd be able to stand if you posed like this. Just saying. You would your balance would be so horrible trying to stand up on that. All right, and then finally we have Vanitas. I don't really know what I think about this character, honestly. Like, she's cool, but at the same time, we just waltzed right into Asker. We found her there instead of Asker himself. And we're just like, nah, kid, you gotta go. Very mean of us, huh? Like, she didn't do anything. Why are we out to get her? Just because she took over for Asker when he was gone? Like, I mean, she's just trying to help, right? So why do we gotta be mean to her? I don't know. Doesn't make much sense. We didn't really get any info on the new story either, which is kind of baffling. Like, what's going on with that? We should be starting the new book, right? And the fact that they didn't do a Fate channel over that or anything is kind of weird. But it is what it is. So that's going to wrap us up for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Again, I'm very stunned that this is such a hated banner. There are certain things about it I can see why people are criticizing, but just the overall hypeness level of this, I don't know. I feel like that outweighs the negatives to me. But again, that's just me. I can only speak for me. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.